And news today that Carlos Sainz has joined Williams on a multi-year deal. Of course, losing his seat at Ferrari. Yes, this is the rumour. I was reading that. Carlos Sainz, of course, losing his Ferrari seat at the end of the year with Lewis Hamilton moving across. And Sainz is now going to partner Alex Albon at Williams, which will mean the end of Logan Sargent for now, which is unsurprising based on his current performances. Hello to Adkins in the chat. Another one who's joining us in Baku later on.
Ocon and Beerman racing for Haas.
Ocon and Beerman for Haas. Interesting. I want to see Mick Schumacher back personally. But Beerman's definitely got the talent.
That's what I've heard.
Beerman's certainly got the talent, as he proved when he reserved at Ferrari. Bit similar to how George Russell got the Mercedes seat with his reserve performances while he was a Williams driver and he went on loan. Always interesting times to see who ends up where. I'd personally love it if there were a couple more teams so we could have a bit of a larger grid. Get it back up to 12 teams, 24 racing or more. Formation lap then. Here in Spa. And we do see soft tyres. We see soft tyres for the back row of the grid, Easy Life and TMK, and also for Senna from third. So is this the potential way?
So I was happy to hear he lost the win low.
Well, I felt quite sorry for him, and I'm not a Lewis Hamilton fan, so I was a bit irritated by that. Especially when I sat and watched the race, it kind of feels it defeats the object when they change the result afterwards, but there you go. Such things happen, and they happen in these leagues as well, of course, if someone falls foul of the stewards. Swanton is in the chat cheering on Sloth. He's got a job on today, Sloth, to maintain the constructors' lead in Swanton's absence. Very wide there went a Red Bull at Smug. So, could Senna be the one, again, as Smug did last week, to crash the party of the front two? The title challenging Craggy and Max. Soft medium or soft hard, says Amazon. And it reckons the softs are going to go the 9 or 10 laps before a pit stop. So that's very interesting. Is Senna going to be able to crash the Craggy and Max party off the front row with the soft tyres? We shall see. Colin Smug also looking in. Smug had an unbelievable start last week and went from 4th to 1st before the first corner. King Kong, Mr. Pickle, Speedy Bullet, Joker, Skippy disqualified for his parking, as was Easy Life. DRS disabled for the first lap, and the lights go on. We got a front on view. Out they go, and away they go. And Senna did get a great start, and into the wall. Into the wall is Smug before the first corner. Smug is into the wall before the first corner, and there's some carnage as well in behind. And Senna has managed to get up with Craggy and Max, and they go through a Rouge together. But he hasn't managed to make any places. Then it's Colin in P4 from King Kong. Skippy's had a great start. He's up to P6 ahead of Speedy Bullet. Then Joker, Mr. Pickle. Max going for the lead. Rides the curb. And got a bit out of shape. They're side by side. And still side by side. Craggy on the inside. Senna trying to poke a nose in as well. They come round out of view. And Craggy's forced a little wide. And they're still side by side. Max on the inside now. Takes the lead. Max into the lead from Craggy. Then Senna, Colin. King Kong, Skippy, Speedy, Joker, Mr. Pickle and 50 Gent. Oh, big wobble from Max.
From Max, Craggy and Senna.
Big wobble from Max, lucky to get away with that one. And just about stays in front of Craggy, who is right on his tail. Bit of a gap now to Senna, who's got Colin for company. Now up the inside goes Craggy. And back into the lead. Craggy retakes the lead. Skippy has lost a couple of places. They're 4 wide almost, as they scrap for position. Joker's made gains. Skippy on his inside. Smug has made it back to the pits, and now Mr. Pickle! Mr. Pickle's into the wall. And it's all gone a bit wrong for Red Bull. Smug on the first lap, and now Mr. Pickle on the second. Coming to some danger. Skippy going for the pass. If that Speedy Bullet's trying to pass both of them. Skippy through, Joker in the middle of them, then Speedy Bullet. All the blue cars merging into one just to make it more difficult. But so far, Williams will be absolutely loving life. P3 and 6. Skippy then followed by Joker, Speedy and 50 Gent. Rouge Nico up into the top 10 now. Ahead of Mr. Pickle, and Max Weld is off! Max is in the wall, he smashed his front wing to pieces. And he drops all the way to 11th. I didn't see what happened there, but Max has had a big accident. Bits of foam advertising board going flying everywhere there.
Have you heard what happened in Southport?
Yes, Cam, we were hearing things about that.
Kayak 1NS.
Senna with the fastest lap of the race. Sloth is in the pits. And Rouge Nico up the inside of Mr. Pickle. Mr. Pickle making the move now and getting the overtake done ahead of Rouge and Radion. And look at Max in behind. He's decided not to pit, and he's now trying to make his way back through the field. Further forward, Senna has now caught Craggy as the field bunches a little. The front four, as you can see, Craggy, Senna, Colin and King Kong. And a gap back to Joker, who's pursued by Skippy, Speedy, 50 Gent, Mr. Pickle, Rouge Nico and Max Weld, and TMK and Sainsy as well. Max surely has got to just pit for hards and fix the wing and hope for the best now. Certainly what I'd be doing in his position, as that must be impossible to steer with half the wing smashed off. Speedy trying to have a run at Skippy here. The Alpine's racy as well as the Williams. Aston Martin, I mentioned at the bottom. Of course, we have got an Aston Martin in the field, and he's currently third and setting the fastest lap. That's Colin. Yeah, certainly some horrible things going on in the world. I'm often on stream, try not to go into things like that. Try and keep it a bit light-hearted. And concentrate on the racing as Colin's going to make a move. And look at King Kong trying to follow. And Senna might lose 2 places. He's only going to lose 1. Colin into P2. Speedy Bullet is up to P6 ahead of Skippy. So both Williams losing on that corner there. Mr. Pickle ahead of 50 Gent. Rouge Nico from Max World, who's keeping his place. I don't know why he hasn't picked. TMK, then Sainsy, gap to Easy Life. Sloth and Smug at the back. Poor Smug has had no luck at all. Poor Smug has had no luck at all this season. And again, was in the wars before he even reached the first corner. Yep, the helicopter view is definitely one of the better ones on here. Colin is catching Craggy here. He's catching in big style. And he could be going for a move towards the bus stop. Be interested to see how long the tyres last for Senna. Max is now in the pits, so maybe he's listening. Max World, early pit stop. Will come out just behind his teammate, I think. Well, not just behind, but ahead of Sloth and Smug, I think. They're just coming through the bus stop now as we watch Colin close up to Craggy. Max is out ahead of Sloth, who's got Smug catching him now. Skippy and Speedy continuing their battle, side by side, bit of wheel rub, bit more wheel rub, and they both spin! They both spin! Mr. Pickle and 50 Gent say thank you very much and nudge on by. Speedy and Skippy both not quite a spin, but certainly a semi-spin, and they're still quite close together, so I don't think that one's over. They're followed by the Haas pairing of Rouge Nico and TMK. Kong trying to get close to Senna here. I'm thinking Senna's tyres might be going off sooner rather than later around here. But that's all speculation, of course. No idea really, as Skippy loses another place, this time to Rouge Nico, or does he? They're side by side. TMK's looking to go in between them. We've got a caution in sector 3, and I think Max is off again. I think Max went off again as he lost a place to Sloth. And now Smug is right on his tail. King Kong making a move on Senna. So it's all gone wrong for Max World at the moment, as TMK is in there with Rouge Nico, and round goes TMK. 4 trying to fit through a gap where maybe only 1 or 2 could, and TMK came off worse from it. The midfield battling has been very, very interesting and very, very hard fought, let's say. There's people getting their elbows out as Smug makes a move on Max, who is seemingly really struggling. Colin continues to keep Craggy honest. He's really sticking to the task here. They've now created a gap to King Kong, who's got Senna with him. Then a gap to Joker, who's got a gap to Mr. Pickle. He is chased by 50 Gent Speedy Bullet. And Skippy has dropped back a bit. Sainzy's up to 10th. Ahead now of the Haas pairing. And it's Easy Life. And TMK, first one into the pit lane. Off the soft tyres. Started at the back, remember, so let's see where he rejoins. Sloth has got Smug and Max right on his tail as TMK goes to the hard tyres. And drops to the rear of the field. We continue to see Craggy leading from Colin. Senna now getting back towards the back of King Kong. So maybe a second win for those soft tyres that the game said would last the 10, 11 laps they needed to, but I wasn't so sure, especially not with how the race went in real life yesterday. Nobody seemed to want the soft tyres at all. Speedy now trying to get to 50 Gent. Good opportunity for these two to get themselves up the table in the Pro-Ams, with Sloth further down at the moment. Easy Life into the pits. So we are seeing the soft runners come in around lap 7-8. So I'd expect Senna to be shortly doing that, but at the moment he's overtaking King Kong for P3. Speedy makes the move on 50 Gent. Smug and Max together. All going to go through ahead of Easy Life, who rejoins in last. That is Sloth in the foreground from Smug and Max. And Max is going to surely breeze by now, even with Smug having DRS. In fact, they could end up into the back of Sloth, and Max makes a late move. A very late move from Max. And he gets it done. Wow, that was tight. Maybe a bit of movement under braking there that could have caught Smug out, but Max made it through, and made it through safely. And up to P12. Obviously not where he wanted to be, off the front row of the grid. At the moment it's Colin who is keeping Craggy honest at the front. Senna is now into the pit lane as I predicted. Crispy Flannel says, look after my car, Easy Life. Well, it's not quite yet. Your car will be Baker later on. As TMK makes a move on Sloth. Colin still unable to get the move on Craggy, but he's sticking to him. They're increasing the lead now to King Kong. who is being caught a little bit by Joker. Joker could be getting within a second. And it's Mr. Pickle from Speedy Bullet 50 Gent, who's now got Skippy on his tail, and Sainsy as well. And Rouge Nico. Senna, the first of the outside the top 10 who have not stopped, who have stopped. Top 10 have not. He's well clear of Max, who's now ahead of Smug, TMK and Sloth, with Easy Life a bit further back at the rear. Craggy, has he now got the second gap to get away from Colin? He momentarily did. Joker trying to get to King Kong.
Red Heart Lobby Mondays. If not taking part, at least come and support for 2 minutes, please and thank you X.
Indeed, Blobby Mondays later on, 10 PM. We go to Baku, which is always a fun one to commentate on. I'm hoping the driving standards are a bit better than last week, but I'm going to put that down to it being a reverse grid sprint, which always seems to bring out the worst in people, and probably not something that will be brought back for Season 4. We do have one more of those on the calendar. Senna now catching Rouge Nico and trying to get back in the top 10. Joker's going to make a move here on King Kong. And Joker up into third in the V-Carb. It's P3 for Joker. Skippy making a move on 50 Gent. And Senna does make that move on Rouge Nico. The back straight yielding lots of overtaking. We might see some more here as Smug is chased by TMK and Sloth. And they're going to have some DRS. And TMK is ahead. And Sloth has to bide his time. And Smug almost into the back of TMK there. But they all keep it clean. Colin back within half a second. Keeping pace with Craggy. Bear with me, I'm going to turn the light on because it's getting dark early. Into the pit lane comes Colin. So Colin is in. Is there an undercut potential? We shall see. Depends where he comes out in terms of traffic. Hard tyres going on. Into the pits also a 50 Gent and Sainsy. And is Senna going to undercut Colin? No, he isn't. Colin rejoins ahead of Senna. 50 Gent has leapt ahead of Sainsy. Rouge Nico's also in the pits. 50 Gent rejoins in P9. Sainsy in 10. Max will go up to P11. Rouge Nico coming out just ahead of his teammate in P12. And 50 Gent taking Sainsy. TMK taking his teammate Rouge Nico. Smug looks on behind them. Kong is still sticking with Joker. Craggy well clear. Is he going to box now to cover off Colin?
Red Heart always doing you. Love you X.
He is not. He is staying out. So let's see about Joker and King Kong. Into the pits comes Joker. King Kong continues on. Mr. Pickle is also continuing, as are Speedy and Skippy. We've seen these two come together already today.
Night all Red Heart.
Oh, you got to sleep? Good night. Skippy is ahead now. Oh, he isn't now. He's had a wobble at the top. That's usually when you say goodnight. Skippy now did get ahead. Okay, no problemo. Speedy managed to get back ahead after Skippy made a mistake. Colin has rejoined in P6 and he now needs big laps. Colin up to P6 needs big laps if he's going to try and undercut Craggy. Is Craggy going to try and go medium soft, or any of the top 5 going to try and gamble for medium soft here? A couple more laps and it should do it comfortably. Joker's rejoined in P8 behind Senna, ahead of his teammate Sainsy, who had a wobble there, and 50 Gent looking interested. Craggy's opened a 10-second lead to King Kong. Skippy and Colin both now right behind Speedy Bullet. Colin's praying they're going to pit this lap and get out of his way. They don't have to yield, of course. It is for track position. And TMK's out of the race. And it's a safety car. And that has fallen so into the hands of Craggy. TMK is out. Speedy Bullet pitted just at the right time. It's going to help him. Sloth has got a drive through. Goes from bad to worse for Ferrari today. In the absence of Swanton. Max is in, as is Sainsy. I'd expect everybody in, to be honest. Even Rouge Nico, who's pitted just a couple of laps ago, might help Smug out this one. Sloth in as well. Sainsy's gone for softs, Max for mediums. Smug's gone back to his mediums from lap 1. The front 4 are yet to get around, but of course they are delta restricted now, so it's going to work well for Craggy. Surely no chance of anybody leapfrogging him now. So the front 4 will box. Craggy, I think, will get back out comfortably in the lead and then pick up the safety car after his pit stop. King Kong, Mr. Pickle and Skippy you would expect to box as well, as in comes Craggy. And in comes King Kong. Very carefully indeed. Craggy goes for softs. Mr. Pickle is in. Skippy is in, and Colin is in as well. Senna continues on for track position, and he's going to get some track position, but not a lot of it. Is he going to get to P2? Yes. Senna up to P2. Had to be clever there, because staying out got him track position, and he may have struggled with boxing again behind Skippy. Speedy Bullet has not come out of that well. He's now potentially on the wrong tyre, and he's come out behind Skippy and Colin. Skippy and Colin have got out ahead of Speedy Bullet. 50 Gent is now in the pits and exiting ahead of Max World. So this has worked out like an absolute treat for Craggy. It's worked out not great for Colin, but he's decided to pit again. And with his pace, I wouldn't rule out a podium for him. At the moment, it's great news for Williams, who are 2nd and 5th. Skippy leading the Mr. Pickle, sorry, leads the primary. Skippy second, Speedy Bullet third. So we await Sainsey catching the field, along with 50 Gent on Max Wild. Then there's another gap to Smug. Rouge Nico's down there now. Sloth, who has a drive-through, and Easy Life. TMK, your first DNF of the race. Still all to play for in this race. Will we see someone come through the field? Max or Smug potentially. Will the softs actually last well enough for the last few laps? Senna will be hoping they don't, and they'll be hoping, Senna will definitely be hoping that his stint was about all they can do on the opening stint, because then he would be potentially in the box seat if everyone's soft tyres go off on them. We're going to have another lap of safety car here though, as the back of the field has just caught up now. So that takes us into lap 16. So we'll have 7 more racing laps. And that is about where the soft tyres did on the first sector. The first stint was about 6-7 laps. Senna will know better than anyone how badly they went off at that stage. It remains to be seen, is he going to be a sitting duck on those hard tyres? Pretty much the only one who stayed out. Or is durability going to win the day? Let's find out very shortly. As I said earlier, do tune in for Baker's League race on Wednesday. I will also have some Fortnite streams with Megs and George, and if anyone else wants to join in, bear with me, keep your notifications on for those. There may be some afternoon ones, or maybe an afternoon one tomorrow. Safety car is in this lap, so Craggy takes control of the pace of the field. Vigorously warming the tyres. Left to right, using the entire width of the track. When does he go? Thank you so much for the gifted sub in the kit chat from Stacey, and that's gone to Baker. Baker, you are now a Kick subscriber. Thank you very much to Stacey in the chat for the gifted sub. Craggy leads them away. Sloth is in to do his drive-through. Joker making a move on Speedy Bullet, and he goes up to P7. Craggy's already got a gap to Senna, who's now chased by King Kong and Mr. Pickle and his teammate Skippy behind. Max makes a move past 50 Gent and up into the top 10. Big train of cars forming behind Senna, led by King Kong. Craggy's managed to gap 2.5 seconds already just on this lap. He's had a really good getaway. And the longer Senna holds everybody else up. And Smug's off, is he? 50 Gent and Smug have had a collision. And it just goes from bad to worse for Smug at the moment. He's having no luck at all. King Kong has now made the move on Senna. Shut up, go away. Collins in there trying to get past. Edged out by Mr. Pickle. Craggy sets the fastest lap of the race. Max has got another one. He's past Sainsy now. Mr. Pickle trying to get past Senna. Round the outside he goes. Senna will try and force him wide, but Mr. Pickle gets it done. It's not quite worked out for Senna on the tyres, and they're swallowing him up now. Collins by. And Collins going to pass Mr. Pickle as well. And Senna managed to pass Mr. Pickle. Mr. Pickle caught napping a bit there. Colin up to third. Senna now 4. Mr. Pickle 5. Skippy, Joker. And then a bit of a gap to Max. Ahead of Speedy Bullet and Sainsy, rounding off the top 10. Craggy, a 4-second lead. Looks to have things under control. The battle here is for podium places and beyond. And at the moment, King Kong in second, Colin in third. Senna in fourth from Mr. Pickle, Skippy and Joker. Caution in sector 2 is for Sloth. And it's a really bad day for Ferrari, I think. And now Senna's off! Is he? Senna's out! Senna's out! I think he's been disconnected. I think Senna has been disconnected. Really inopportune time for that to happen. I will try and invite him back. Senna's dropped all the way back. He's ghosting. That's real disappointment for him as he drops out now to 10th. Joker has made good gains. He's up to 4th now. I may have missed some of that as I was re-inviting Senna. But now he's got Skippy and Mr. Pickle going for him. Skippy up to P4. Mr. Pickle is going to pass both. And Mr. Pickle retakes the lead of the Prime race. Mr. Pickle and Skippy, their own private battle. Joker in amongst it as well with Max.
Can you send Senna an invite? He's been...
I did send one. I did send an invite already. Oops, wrong button. I can only do this a little bit. Obviously, I've got to commentate. Where is he? He's not there. It's not there. Can't send him an invite if he's not there. Joker is up to P5. Again ahead of Skippy. They're having a great battle. All of them in there. Max is trying to get back through the field. Colin closing on King Kong. Smug now passes Senna, who's still ghost. I mean, I've tried. There you go, I've sent another invite and he's joined back in, but probably going to be too little too late for him, unfortunately. And Max is now past Skippy. That's P6 now for Max. And he won't have given up on the two ahead of him as well. Colin is going to make a move on King Kong for P2. Colin back up to second. Mr. Pickle back up to fourth ahead of Joker. Joker, Max and Skippy all chasing Mr. Pickle. King Kong trying to stay with Colin and keep that gap to Mr. Pickle and keep the podium place. Pickle, I'm sure, would be happy just with the Pro-Am win. And at the moment, he's got two cars between himself and Skippy. Speedy Bullet makes the move on Sainz. Sainz off, that's why. Sainz off and facing the wrong way. And he drops out of the top 10 now. Craggy has a good gap. Joker goes for Mr. Pickle and makes the move. Pickle trying to hook it round the outside. Got to be careful, of course, because Max and Skippy are right there as well. And Skippy trying to poke it up the inside of Max there. Three laps to go. And still battles all over the track. Joker has the advantage for now from Mr. Pickle and Max and Skippy. But here comes some DRS Sloth into the pits. And he's just going for a fastest lap, I think. As he is at the back, Mr. Pickle makes the move again ahead of Joker, who nearly goes into the back of him. Senna has passed Easy Life. Max looking for a way through. On Joker, he's going to try and go the long way around the outside. Couldn't make it stick. Oh, the soft tyre's going to go off a bit. Is this going to be to the advantage of Joker and Max? Smug, despite being in the wars, is back in the top 10. He's had no luck at all. 50 Gent passes Easy Life. Max trying to find a way through. Really good four-car battle for fourth at the moment, which of course is involving. And off is Max! Max is out of the race and Mr. Pickles crashed into him. Skippy takes the lead of the Pro-Am. Joker is up to P4. Skippy into 5th. King Kong has passed Colin for P2. Max out of the race. Mr. Pickle surely must have got damage. Visually it actually looks okay, and he could still be in the running for the Pro-Am win. Skippy is going to try and make the move on Joker, and does. And that's P4 for Skippy, who is on for a victory in the Pro-Am. King Kong up to second ahead of Colin. Those two will continue to battle. Joker, Mr. Pickle's not out of it yet. Max, the unfortunate one, who is out of the race. Craggy continues to extend the lead in front. For King Kong and Colin, it's all about second. For Skippy, it's all about the Pro-Am win, and they're pulling away now from Mr. Pickle a little bit. And he's got Joker in between them. But Joker's making a move on Skippy up the inside. This is where we just saw Mr. Pickle and Max crash on the previous lap. Smug is making a move on Rouge Nico for P8. as we begin the final lap, the leaders. Joker now ahead of Skippy. Skippy now has Mr. Pickle. Oh, he's gone deep, Mr. Pickle. He went very deep into the corner, almost took Skippy out. They will continue to fight. Colin, this is probably his last big chance of retaking second. He's going to go outside, and he makes it stick. Looking behind, Skippy and Joker and Mr. Pickle. Skippy into P4. Joker's going to try and fight it. There's a yellow further back. Mr. Pickle's gone off. Mr. Pickle has gone off. And Skippy now surely has the Pro-Am victory in the bag. And he's also managed to get ahead of Joker. Speedy Bullet now up to second of the Pro-Ams with Rouge Nico also on for a podium. Smug up to seventh. He'd have took that after crashing before the first corner. Craggy's in the final sector. Joker still pursues Skippy. Craggy comes up towards the bus stop. Joker's going to make a move on Skippy. Craggy comes round the bus stop for the final time. Gives it a power slide and Craggy wins at Spa. Colin will come home in second, just ahead of King Kong. Joker will come fourth. Skippy wins the Pro-Am in P5. Speedy Bullet second in P6. Smug comes home for P7. Rouge Nico.
Well done, Craggy.
Rouge Nico gets a podium in the Pro-Am with P8. Senna comes home in P9. And 50 Gent in P10. Mr. Pickle in the end crashed down to P11. Easy Life was P12 ahead of Sainsy, who comes home in P13, and Sloth will be the last one home. Sainsy then in 13th and Sloth in 14th. Just want to commend everybody, not one track limit penalty in the entire race. And I think only Sloth's drive-through was the only penalty of any sort. So excellent driving standards, folks. Superb stuff. Well done, everybody. Well done to Craggy, who's on the top step.
Well done, Craggy.
Colin takes P2 and King Kong in P3. Joker, what a battle with Skippy. P4 for him. Skippy will be happy enough with a Pro-Am victory. P5. Speedy Bullet quite had a big battle with Skippy as well early on. He finished in P6 and P2 of the Pro-Am. Smug was in the wars. In the end, P7. Decent recovery for him. Rouge Nico manages a podium in the Pro-Am for P8. Senna drops to P9. He was unfortunate with tyres and then with a disconnection. And 50 Gent made the top 10 ahead of Mr. Pickle in P11. Then it was Easy Life, Sainsy and Sloth. The two DNFs were TMK and Max. So, what's the time? Anybody tell me the time? I can't see the time. Nico reckons the game wasn't on strict. I'm just praising everybody for good driving, and he doesn't think it was on the correct setting. So, we'll look into that. 20 past 9. So, I will be back in 40 minutes' time. The lobby will open in about 25. Drivers, if you're watching. Until then, we'll see you then. This has been DRS. Join me for Vlogging Mondays at 10.